First of all, we set up a learning management platform. And that funding allowed us to train 200 women journalists on this program so that we could deliver our training virtually at self-paced, because we also recognize that, women are at home and having the care responsibilities of looking after their family more than their male counterparts. But then because it was virtual, we had things like access to technology to contend with, right? So people not having access to data. We also did research on how COVID-19 impacted East African women journalists. 59% of our respondents said that they had been put on unpaid leave, right? That's a significant percentage. Some of those people put on unpaid leave were pregnant women. Sexual harassment changed. You're relying more on online sources on social media for your news gathering. And then again, that opens you up to sexual harassment on social media, cyberbullying on social media. So those are some of the things that our research kind of found out. And one of our key recommendations is around gender policies.
Can you define gender policies? What kind of policies do you have in mind?
So we're talking about in your HR policy, in your policies that guides your human resources, in your policies that guides your media outputs, there should be some form of gender consciousness. There's got to be an organizational objective to really have that clear trajectory from entry to leadership, and also for it to come with equity.
When you do talk about African women in media and what it's doing for African journalists, how has that shaped coverage of women, and what changes do you see in terms of how a story is covered by women versus how it's covered by men, especially when it has to do with women?
In our 2018 conference, the focus of that conference was around women in politics, right, and the coverage of women in politics. The statistics in Nigeria shows that all the many millions of Nigerian women who are notable and influential in Nigeria, how many profiles of Nigerian women are there on Wikipedia? 1,500, right? And generally, women make up only 17% of Wikipedia profiles. Okay, so there's a general disproportionality there. And so one of the things that we did with Wikimedia was that we wanted to train more women editors of Wikipedia, because hopefully that would then translate to more women representation.
How does your organization address the plight of stringers and freelancers?
The objective of Stringers Africa is to connect freelance journalists in African countries. We invite newsrooms to the conference. We invite funders to the conference, and you have that opportunity to pitch and to get that exposure, that access that you need. We're currently developing the actual digital platform itself, and it's something that we hope to launch later this year, and particularly focusing on women. And again, like you said, it's about that economic empowerment, but that freedom, that flexibility.
How you, as a woman, a mother, an academia, a journalist, and a starter of so many things, is able to do what you do, and what would be your message to a lot of women who obviously juggle and struggle to juggle with the various roles that you're doing currently?
It's time management, number one. Number two is just do it, because oftentimes we wait for the right moment to do something, and there's never a right moment. So just do it the way you can in that moment, and continue to build and learn and progress from there. All the knowledge doesn't just come from you, it comes from your community as well. So you cannot be insular in terms of your thinking. You can have the vision, but you should always kind of learn from other people's experiences, invite other people in. Nobody's an island on their own, working together with other people. I'm a very open person, almost too open perhaps. But in that process, you build networks, you get to learn from other people's perspectives. And I'm learning that, we always have this voice in our head telling us not to do something. The fear, I still have the fear. I had the fear before coming to this interview, right? And it's just learning to use that fear for you. Learning that fear for me, when I'm scared, when I'm about to do something and I have fear, I feel as if it's because, one, I'm challenging myself, so I'm taking myself out of my comfort zone, which is a good thing, right? It's because I care about that thing, and I want it to be really successful. I would say, whatever your circumstances, whatever you want to do, just get started, just do it and build on it as you go.